liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Covert.
Here.
Crowner.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Lees. Here. Young. Here.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve our agenda.
So moved. Support.
Motion and support. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. We have our consent agenda. I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So motion to approve is presented. And support.
Motion and support. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, motion carries. We'll go directly into our staff and council reports. Greg?
Just a couple items tonight, Your Honor. We are working on a tour of Alice Place. They're kind of getting down to the wire here. They've got quite a bit to do before they can open up. So I think Mark and Jesse have both been out there recently. They're going to plan is to go out next week and kind of see where they are, and we'll try to get a date set as soon as possible. Met with Beaverdale, had our annual meeting Tuesday. Good meeting, follow-up. They provided a summary of everything, kind of a list of everything that they've been working on regarding infrastructure out there. They have a large leak right now that Francis is working on as well, but we provided our required updates and got a brief update on where they are. So they're continuing to move forward. It's not an easy process, but they are making more progress here of late than they have. Permits, again, have been through the roof. Last update, if you noticed, I think our total was around $68,000 in permit revenue. So Mark is keeping busy, several large projects. So that's good to see, and that's continuing, certainly not slowing down as well. And then I'm making my way through the project sheets for our bond council for the urban renewal plan update. I'm trying to get all those updated and off to bond council so we can start that process for all of those projects that we want to include in the urban renewal plan. And it's just kind of a lengthy process. So that's all for now, Your Honor.
Thank you. Chase?
Denko has been down, finished crack sealing. They got done about 3 days, what they're going to do, and turned out pretty good, I think. The guys have started painting all the arrows around town. All the arrows have been painted. Now we're just working on cross blocks and stuff like that. We had a little trouble with the paint machine today, so we'll probably have to be back on it next week, and then hopefully finish up next week for the cross blocks. And then Proline was in, and they did their turn lane in front of United Rentals. So the new turn lanes are in there, and then we have the turn lane going into Casey's. It's halfway down, the arrow's there, and the only's there. We just got to stripe out the yellow line yet. And then Jonah's starting tomorrow, so that's all I got.
Thank you. Jesse, fire.
Yeah, I got one thing for the police department is we've had a lot of solicitors going around town. Just want to make the residents aware that every single one that comes through, they each have to have their own permit for every person. It's just not the company. So every person that comes through needs to come up to City Hall, fill out a permit, and I approve it. We ran a couple solar companies out of town last week, and they tried to turn some paperwork in, and it's not correct. They just want to do what they want to do, and it's just we just reminding our residents that they need to follow through. Ask them. They need to see their permits. If they have any questions about it, they can call up here at City Hall and talk to us, and we can try to answer those questions. So it's been pretty hot and heavy here for the last couple weeks. And then we just want to, from the Firefighter Association, Fire Department, we just want to thank everybody for the 4th of July. The community support was great that day. We had, I think, around 1,400 people that came through the fire department for breakfast. So we served all the way up until a little after 11 o'clock. Glad, you know, the guys worked hard, and we had a group traveling volleyball team that came and assisted us, and the fire department, or the fire association, made a donation to their sports group for helping us. They did the trash, they kept the table supplied, so we really, it was a West Burlington volleyball team that helped us out that day. So we've had other organizations in there helping us out just so we could concentrate on other things. So we just want the community support.
Okay, thank you. Anything on, no, that's, all right. Guess I'll go to Kelly. Anything on the swimming pool? I'm assuming we're been doing pretty well with volume.
Katie got me the numbers and I left them in the other room, but I mean, it's hard to compare it to last year, but they were pretty good. I would say a little bit higher than normal for that exact time period, so. And of course, the revenue's down because of the delayed opening, but as far as attendance, I think it's up.
So far, they've had $19,857.46 in admissions and sold $11,433 of concessions as from July 1st.
How many in attendance?
I don't have that number. I just have money number.
Money.
We'll put it out on the update.
Okay.
We've been doing foot patrol through there, the police department, and when I go through there, it seems like the numbers are up a little bit more than last year. I'm not counting, but it just, chairs and the cars in the parking lot and all that, it seems like it is a little busier. So we've had a few minor instances there of people not following rules and those kind of things, but we take care of that and ask them to leave for the day. So.
Anything else? You, Kelly? Anything more finance? In that case, I'll go to staff reports and. Melanie?
Oh, just a couple questions. First, on the swimming pool, thanks again for getting it open. It's fun to walk by there, hear the kids playing. And I will say I've had 3 unsolicited comments from people who don't use the pool, but who live in West Burlington, who just said, hey, I'm glad you guys got it opened. I know, you know, just glad it's open. And I'm like, well, it cost a bit to get it fixed. Like, okay. To include one person who lives near the pool, and just happy to have it open and know it's not too noisy and know it seems to be going well. So a lot of pain to get there, but keep up the good work and keep pushing to make it go well, and everything you're doing behind the scenes, Chase, to keep it going. It's appreciated. Second thing, 4th of July, also great job, Andy, and everybody pulling together to pull off a nice event. Jesse, from your perspective with the 4th, just curious, any issues or?
No, just a little bit on fireworks. Some we're still lighting them off in the streets. The parks were not destroyed this year, so we thank them for that. I know last year they were a lot of debris, trash left behind last year, not so much this year. So comparison by firework calls, we just had a couple this year when they were lighting them when they weren't supposed to, but that was it.
Well, thanks. We got one more celebration, or for July anyway, in West Burlington, and that's the Des Moines County Fair kicks off next week.
Yep.
And I'd like somebody to prove me wrong, but I bet we're the smallest town in Iowa to host the county fair. Somebody go figure that out.
Donaldson.
Donaldson? Oh, you're right. Shoot,
Lee
that was
County.
too easy. Okay. Well, anyway, I like my theory. Don't bother me with the facts once in a while. But anyway, Des Moines County Fair kicks off next week. Go enjoy. Thanks. That's all I have.
Thank you. Reese?
Well, I have a lot to thank for getting the bike races pulled off, to Greg and Jesse and Ron Teeter for handing out the first, second, and third medals. Those kids were just thrilled to death to get the medals. Chase for giving up his morning to bring the bikes, take the bikes, the fire department for bringing the drinks and beverages, And for Ringo and Melanie for stepping in and helping out with the races as well. I know Ringo did double duty with blocking off, barricading the streets since we didn't have as much people from the CERT team. We had 42 kids on the bikes and no accidents. Oh, thank heavens. It's always better.
Had a close one.
And it was a great day. I'm glad we started early because it got hot in a hurry, and I had plenty of water and Gatorade. So kudos to everybody that helped with the bike race. The other thing I want to bring up, I looked through our animal ordinance, and in our animal ordinance, it requires all dogs to have rabies vaccinations in our city, but we have no way to regulate or enforce that. So I've asked Kelly to look through, because way back 100 years ago, the dogs were licensed for tags. And this way, I think we can keep better track of the loose animals that are loose in our city and make sure have their rabies vaccination and we know who they belong to. And I think that's just one more step that we need to do in getting more control on the animals that are running loose. Thank you.
Thank you. John?
The only thing I have is, I have had 3 people come up and said they were glad that we opened the pool. We fixed it. One of them was a Burlington resident, but a close person to the family that lives in Burlington. Yeah, they said that they were glad to see it open, so that's all I have.
Thank you. Andy, I want to save you for last, okay? Ringo?
Good move, Mayor. I want to thank, I did the parade. Parade was successful. I think we probably had over 70 entries, and we had late entries, but we worked it in. And I'm saying I want to thank Melanie and Teresa for being there. Not only support, but led me, and so next year I'll be able to do a lot better job. I also want to thank Katie for organizing the paperwork for us to make it a lot more efficient and work. The people at the parade that actually attended the parade, thank you so much. I was thinking it was going to be sort of chaos with my first year, like I'd be cause of all the chaos. And actually all the entrance, they just lined up perfect. It went off, it was great, and it just worked out really great. I was really happy. Really happy. My wife was happy for me too, so it worked out great. So I also, Jesse and Chase, those guys were up all over the place. And thanks a lot, guys, for the team, the support that we got from the street department, the police department. Thank you very much for that. And of course, I want to thank Sue and Bill Carter with the gang was, they were really supportive in having the right vehicles for the right people to go through our parade and everything. And my last thing, I want to thank all the veterans that served the 4th of July, because that's what it's all about, freedom of what we all enjoyed as Americans to be together that day. And it was a special day, so thank you.
Thanks for doing this job.
Now, Andy.
I just want to talk about the pool. No, actually, could you give us a report from the pool side on what we're doing to market this year? I know we talked about it. I haven't really seen anything. Maybe I'm just missing it. But I'd love to have that report to kind of know, here's maybe some advertising dollars we're spending, or some Facebook ads we're buying, or here's our post schedule, those things. And then 4th of July, I want to start with staff and council. And Mr. Mayor, just thank you all, and I know it's a long, hot day, and a lot of time leading up to it, but I think it's important. It not only celebrates our country and the 4th of July, but I think it kind of celebrates our town. It's kind of the one thing that really puts us on the map from a regional perspective. The data that we got from the chamber showed 21,000 people were in town that day, and I kind of got some past data to try to figure out how many were there kind of the event and versus other Fridays, how that lined up. And then probably about 5,000-ish people were at the event is where that data lines up. And it looked like about 150 people left and went straight to a hotel after. So just to give you an idea maybe of some hotel rooms that were sold that day. So even if it's just half that or a third of that. So, and then I want to thank a few people that volunteer every year, and they're not here, so we don't really see them. But Mike Davis, who runs the services in the morning, Tony Diaz from Jimmy John's, that I think gives us the best food and beverage lineup of any event in town. The Carters, of course, I found them in a 1980 pamphlet running the car show back then, and they still do today. So that's impressive. Amber Nupp and the Relay for Life team, who are the first ones here of anybody basically with Public Works in the morning to get things set up. And then the Burlington Art Center for joining us this year. That was a great addition. A lot of time and hot for them too. And so that was really nice to have that right out front under the tent with the new mural right there. I thought that was a great addition to the event. So otherwise, just thank you all for your help, and it's a pretty fun, hot day.
I might add, I forgot about this. One of the vendors came up to me and said that she couldn't get her plug-in and that they were all used, and that she had to go half plugged in. And I thought we upgraded that.
We have 5, and I'm going to forget some of the details of this, but we can basically plug 5 trailers in to that specific power. And then so some of the ones you see were running off of a lower end power, and they would have agreed with that with Tony beforehand. We sign up the first 5 that have the power, and then we go the ones that can go on less power, and then at the end of the ones that are grilling. So we kind of have that set, and Tony handles that. So that would have been communicated beforehand, what kind of power they need and what they're allowed to have.
Well, this person had been there for many, many times, and then this time she couldn't plug in, and she had to half plug in. And I thought we had upgraded that, so. Yeah.
We definitely upgraded. We used to only be able to run 3, so now we can do 5 of the, well, I assume it's like a 220 power, is that right?
Yeah, Tony asked me what we all had, and I thought they had enough. I didn't know they were even short.
Yeah, they do. She was.
And I know we had to move one that didn't have long enough cord this year, so we had a little issue with that. But in general, I think our vendors have been very happy.
Yeah.
I think they do pretty well that day.
Well, the reason I brought it up was if there's a shortage this year, and if we get another one next year, there's going to be another issue. Do we need to upgrade something? That's why I'm bringing it up.
I wouldn't recommend it right now. I appreciate that you'd want to, but I think we basically have a full street at this point in time, and there's always that thought in my head of, do you continue to grow it? And I think, no, but this is about what we can handle from a city perspective.
Ron, I forgot one special thank you. Angela sitting down there being very quiet. If it wasn't for her putting my packets together for the bike races and having all the required paperwork and having everything there at my disposal, I had just only had to come and load it up my car, and she loaded up my car with me. It's very special thanks to Angela. I didn't want you to think I forget it. I did not.
She forgot it too.
Well, that kind of leads into mine, which is I really do appreciate everything that the staff has done to make this a successful 4th of July. I had a number of people came up to me and said that they were not West Burlington residents, but they said, this is really special. This is something that we like coming to. We think it's a good thing for your community, but as well for us that live nearby and so forth. So there were a lot of compliments on it. So I pass those on to you, Andy, but I also pass it on to the staff. I know the Public Works is more than busy on doing something like this. So I think a lot of people noticed that and appreciate it also.
I'd like to share one more thing real quick, and it just is what made the day for me. It was actually at the morning service when they play a song, and as each veterans from the different armed services stand up and are recognized, as both of you were that day. The person in front of me stood up, and both of his kids that were there with him kind of clapped him on the back and thanked him for his service. And to me, I just went, I'm good. All right. That's why we're doing this. So it was excellent.
Well, I think we even had a wedding this year, didn't we?
Yeah, let's.
That's a first that I know of.
Well, I want to thank the people in the parade for having some music with us this time.
Yes.
I really liked that. That was really good for us.
They that was pretty cool, Sheltered Reality, their Midwest group. Sue and Bill Carter got the trailer and the generator and the truck to make sure they could perform for us, but they were our musical entry, and yeah, you'll hear more of them.
Good. Well, with that, then I will go ahead and move us toward our, there's no old business, so we'll go to new business. Our first item is consider approving the pay request number 3, $1,062.10 from local boring company, and the change order number 1, minus $37,672 for the Spring Street water main replacement project. Pay request number 3 then.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Motion and support.
I figured this must have been wrong, but I read through it and actually saving us money once.
I think it helped that the services weren't lead.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Go to number 2. Consider resolution accepting the Spring Street water main replacement project and authorize the release of the retainage.
Motion to approve. Support.
Motion and support. Resolution.
Crowner,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
Young,
Aye.
Over.
Aye.
Motion carries. Go to number 3, consider a resolution amending the master fee schedule for business licenses, building and zoning fees, and public safety.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Motion and support. Discussion?
Could I have a little background on the food truck license change? What we're trying to change there? Which one?
Food truck.
I'm not sure.
That was just kind of some confusion, I think, when Mark's issuing permits for people that want to come into town.
I think my only thought was why limit it to only the one location?
It's just very hard to track them when they're just coming in for a short little burst like that. But sometimes they do want to come in and be at the same location, like at Walmart for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's hard to even, I think it's even harder to track the annual one where they can be up to 10 locations.
So are we doing this just so that we can get more funding, or are we doing this because it's more work? Why are we doing it to start with?
Doing what?
Increasing it.
I think Mark, it was.
You're just adding a new one.
We just added a new
category.
timeframe for them.
Instead of a 1 day or having to pay $250, if you want to do it 2 weeks, you can get it for $50.
People don't want
Adding
to
a
necessarily
category.
work 1 day, and they don't want to necessarily work a whole year.
Right. So it's kind of a in-between measure. If somebody wants to come in for a little while and work, instead of having to pay the full $250, they want to do more than
Has there been an issue?
a day here or a day there.
Has
And
there
then
been
the-
an
I
issue
mean, the
that
other
they've
ones-
not been obtaining a permit before they start their business?
Yes, there's times when they,
And that's why those are on there. That we don't have anything in the ordinance or in the fee schedule for businesses that are operating without a license or rental properties that are operating without a license. There's nothing in there. They can't double the fee because they're not paying their fee or anything. So before they can get licensed, we're looking at, I mean, there needs to be some penalty in there other than a misdemeanor to encourage them to make sure that they're getting licensed in the future.
So we could have a mobile food truck come at like Menards and nobody would know it if they didn't come to City Hall and get a license first?
We're seeing this more often with rental properties that aren't licensed, or businesses that are operating without a license, and that we're finding out after the fact. We're dealing with one in particular right now, or 2 more recent ones that have been operating without a license, that we find out once we're called in or an issue arises.
And then the $75, Jess, is that if somebody wants to have security and they hire our officers?
Yes.
Simply hasn't been updated for several years.
Any further discussion? If not, this is a resolution, so roll call, please.
Johnson,
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
Young,
Aye.
Covert,
Aye.
Crowner.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, number 4, consider the disposal of city-owned property.
Should I maybe just do an intro?
Yeah.
Thank you, Your Honor. I've tried to, we've come up with the documentation necessary to dispose of property at 1110 West Mount Pleasant Street. We have a vacant parcel there, city owns. And I believe we've come up with the process that meets all the council's requests or requirements to do so, and move that process forward, which you can either do tonight, or if there's changes, I can make those changes. There's really only a couple questions that I had, and that's paragraph 3 on the memo is, did you want to keep the minimum bid, not maximum, but minimum bid at the $1? Did you want to use the current value or something closer to the purchase price in there? Right now, we've got the minimum bid of $1. And then failing receipt of any bids or the council rejection of any and all bids, then I'd come back to the council and move forward and offer the property to the adjacent property owners. And then the question will be, at that time, do we use the current value or the purchase price, or what value do we use? But that would be subsequent failing receipt of bids or rejection of all bids. But I think we've captured everything that council requested in the bid packet. Happy to answer any questions on that process or documentation, and if you'd like to do something different with the minimum bid or not.
I would really want to get $1.
That's what we discussed. Because they're putting in the additional value into the property, which is required.
Well, I'm not in favor of the minimum bid being $1.
Since this property would be one that joins my property, can I go out there and address it? Or, okay.
Rather than as a council member, but as a citizen?
Yep.
So this property happens to lay next to my property that I have, that I bought from Murphy when he passed away. I would have some interest in this property if you guys decide to sell it. I'm interested in it, not to build on it. I'm interested in it to make the two properties combined to one and make it more usable, sellable for another project later on in the future. I'm not interested in putting a car lot there. I'm not interested in putting cars there for storage. I'd even sign a paper saying I wouldn't do that to it. But I am not interested in building a house. I would hope that you guys could reconsider the requirement for building a house or a garage or whatever to make that a sale. If there's one thing I learned in life is you never know what tomorrow's going to bring. 7 years ago, I woke up one morning and 6 months later, my wife passed. So what happens 6 months from now? You never know. I have a family member that might be interested in doing that, but all the stars would have to line up for him to move back here to build a house there. One of the things I would do is right now, the city mows that, and every time we have a storm, the limbs are falling down. You either have to pick up the sticks and the limbs and stuff. There's a few trees there in the front that are just a mess to mow with, and I'd probably take them down. I've got a stump grinder and the saws and all that stuff. I would clean that stuff out, and that would make it even better looking, you know, for pulling up to the stoplight. So the building on it would be a deal breaker for me. So just throwing that out there. So I guess that's all I have to say. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you.
Greg, I have a question on, let me see what paragraph it is here. Number 7, the abstract and title. I'm just surprised we're saying that the buyer is going to have an abstract prepared, and that's just opposite of the way it's normally done. Normally the seller would be doing the abstract.
Which one are you on? Bidder?
Number 7, abstract and title. In the actual purchase agreement section.
On the purchase agreement. That's the standard language that the city attorney uses in doing these processes with other cities as well. Puts the cost and the onus on the purchaser rather than on the city. Those are the standard provisions that they've been using in this bid process. Buyer's expense.
Okay.
You just put in the, putting the cost back on the.
Don't we already
Buyer.
have an abstract for the property that we would have got when we bought it? And they would just have the expense of bringing it up to date? The language is just.
Bringing it up to date.
But
Yes, bringing it up to date.
And correct me, it would be splitting off another piece of it because that property went around the corner.
No, it's a separate lot.
Yeah.
The,
That's
on the
separate lot,
corner,
too?
the corner lot is separate.
Separate.
Oh, I thought that was one of the same.
No, the corner is a separate parcel owned by the city.
It's a separate parcel?
Yes, there used to be a home on that parcel, if I recall correctly.
I thought it was one.
But no, it's two. Yes, that's just a standard, but it's just bringing the abstract up to, bringing it current.
just to publicly say how I feel about that, with any lot that could be residential in town, my preference is that we have somebody build a house on it, and then if that can't happen and somebody won't, then allow the neighbors to buy it, and that's the way I'd be on anything. That's one of our goals, is to build more residential lots. So if that's an option, and somebody says, hey, I'll buy it for X and build a house on it, I think that's the best thing for our community. And then if that can't happen and nobody's willing to build on it, then go to the neighbors.
Therese, you mentioned you didn't want to see this as a $1 starting bid.
No.
So
17.5 is the current exempt value. You see that in the last paragraph in the memo, 2025 exempt value. Purchase price was 51.9. I don't remember the year. I just go back and look at the paperwork, but it was purchase price that the city paid for it was 51.9. But the current exempt value is 17.5. I think the thought was that get the lot sold, get a house up within the time frame period, and you've got obviously increasing the taxable value of the property and trying to get it sold and getting a house built on it was the original intent or discussion. So, but I'd like to put a different number in there. I just need to know.
Can I still speak from here to there?
Just say that you've got obviously you've got a potential conflict, and you've stated that in advance, and you're just speaking as a council member or as a resident. I'll let you decide.
but you can just sit here if you won't like to be.
Okay. Well, it's not a total, it wouldn't be totally out of the way to build something there, but all the stars would have to line up. And at this point, that wouldn't happen. It might be 5 years from now, but, and it might not happen. But if that was built there, it'd be a house more like what's on Park Place that they would be building there. So, just to let you know.
Do you want to suggest a starting
Yeah.
bid?
What's your, other than $1, what number, I mean, how do we set a value? Did we say 17.5
I would say 17.5 is the low bid.
for the lot, to buy a lot in West Burlington, to then be able to put a house on it? I'm just,
What size is that lot?
That's a pretty, well, I was just looking at other lot prices.
Yeah.
It's pretty low for that, but that 51.9 is more along the lines for that type acreage. I don't know.
I'm sorry, I did not do enough research to say, oh, what's a good starting price? Andy, got any ideas?
Yeah.
It's tough because most of that's not usable. It's not like you can break it up and build 10 houses on it, right? So it's just one and
It's not a perfect layout, it's long and
very
narrow.
skinny lot. I mean,
It's not, 17.5 is not an unreasonable starting point.
to me, I go back to, we want a house on it
Yes.
and taxes for the next 100 years. So to me, I don't care if it's $1. You know, and if the market bears out that two people want it and are willing to build on it and they're willing to up that bid to 10, 15, 20,000, great for us. But I'm happy just to have a house.
Do we put a time frame on
The
For the house?
process has a
It's in
timeframe
there.
built into it.
it? All right.
And if you were going to move forward tonight, I'd probably suggest bids back on 8:15 at 3 o'clock, and then the hearing would be scheduled for August 20th. Otherwise, we'll come up with a different date and time. That'd give us roughly, not quite 30 days, but 30 days to get it out there and bids back, open them up, and take a look at them, evaluate them, and bring a recommendation for council on the 20th after a public hearing.
If I go back and look at the appraised value of the land was 14.9 back in 25. 24 was 10.7.
I was trying to find it, Greg. What's the time frame they have to build?
It was 18 months, they had to start within 6, I believe.
Yeah.
To your point, it's better to have a house on there than just keep mowing it and, yeah.
Within 6 months, taking title, with construction complete, with 18 months of taking title. 6C, page 50 of the packet. Under instructions to bidders. It's also on the invitation to bid, it's the third paragraph under the legal notice.
Melanie, do you have a figure that you want to throw out?
5,000 minimum bid, 10% of the purchase price. So there's 5,000 is what I had a minimum bid.
I'm all right with 5.
All right, 5. Andy, I know you're all right with 1, so 5 would be acceptable also?
Yep.
Ringo?
It's acceptable.
Okay. Let's move with that as our start bid price. And I don't ask you, John, because you have a
Yeah.
conflict of interest here.
Exactly.
5,000? 5,000?
If council wishes to move forward tonight, the resolution is attached, authorizing the bid process and setting the public hearing for proposed sale, with the dates, suggested dates of August 15th at 3 PM for bids, with the hearing on August 20th, and the minimum value would be 5,000.
Do I have a motion for that?
Motion approved.
Support.
Motion and support. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Are we
Have an
passing, are we
abstention?
adopting a resolution though?
It's a roll call resolution.
Oh, resolution?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Lees,
Aye.
Young,
Aye.
Overt,
Aye.
Crowner,
Aye.
Johnson,
I
Abstain.
abstained,
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
That was the formal way to do it. All right. We have the consideration of a resolution establishing a right turn only restriction onto Agency Street from, our Agency Road from the east Walmart, 324 West Agency Road, and Shopping Center, 411 West Agency Road drives.
Like to go ahead and make a motion.
Okay?
Support.
Motion and support. We've had our discussion, so I will call for a roll call.
Young,
Aye.
Covert,
Aye.
Crowner,
Aye.
Johnson,
Nay.
Lees.
Aye.
Motion carries. So at this point, do we have any citizen inquiries about things that need to come before the city council? Seeing none, then I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Support. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Aye.
$5.
$5.